whenever you're ready.
We have 30 attendees and recording has started.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bill Shallick. I'm the president of OST Global Solutions. Appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy schedules to meet with us today to discuss the state of the government and the top solicitations that the GovCon community should be focusing on and or targeting to help grow their business and their revenue. We're going to go ahead and get started. And as part of this presentation, going to share a little bit about OST. Again, sort of what the government contracting world looks like in 2026 and what we should expect, what those top solicitations are that are coming out, hopefully in the next few months, that you can start your capture and or pre-proposal tasks and support with to build your pipeline and your revenue. Then building your pipeline, we're going to give you some hints on what our best practices look like and also how OST can assist you building that pipeline and responding to proposals. All right. So a little bit about OST. We are one of the few companies that specialize in education for business development. We have 18 courses that are foundations through advanced capture and proposal management. We offer corporate trainings. Our trainings are on demand and live. As a matter of fact, we have an extended holiday sale that's still going on. And towards the end of this presentation, we will provide you with the links and access areas to our website so that you can take a deeper look into our Bid and Proposal Academy, as well as some of the other services we offer, like our GovCon Catalyst, which is our trademarked pipeline service. We identify, qualify, and manage pipelines and schedules for you. And then the bigger part of our business, which correlates to our capture and proposal services, basically a cradle to grave T&M solutioning to assist you delivering capture and proposal with writers, desktop publishers, managers, etc. We've been in business for 20 years. We are a small woman-owned business, and we are a small business champion. Out of our 120 or so active clients, we estimate that about 98% of them are small business set aside, and we've won $27 billion for these clients over the last 20 years, and we're proud of that, helping the small business succeed. I'm going to talk a little bit about the current state of government contracting. I think some of the things we're going to share are not surprising to anyone, but 2025 may have been the most complicated and difficult government contracting year on record. My partners and I, Alessia Smatrova, our founder, Dave Huff, we have over 75 years of government contracting experience between us. And to be fair, we've never seen a year more challenging. We could talk about COVID, we could talk about 9/11, a lot of difficult, tumultuous times in our history that have been challenging, not only to the government, but to the GovCon community. And last year might have been just the most challenging for the extended period, the whole time of that year. There were far less solicitations and task orders to identify, target, respond to, and or receive award decisions on. We think that 2026, we know actually based on the information that we've received from the people that we work within the government and or the different boards we're on, and based on the current first month of government contracting, that 2026 is going to be stronger. It'll be better than 2025. We don't think it'll be as great as 2024, but it will be the new normal. And it's going to hopefully get a lot better, as maybe some of you have already seen. One of the solicitations we're going to talk about later is the Oasis Plus on-ramp, and there are plenty of targeted solicitations and on-ramps that are falling in the next few months that hopefully will favor us winning more contracts in the small business community. The government is definitely focusing on GWACs IDIQs, BPAs, and then the GSA schedules. This administration made it pretty clear coming into last year that they were looking to focus on using GSA to sponsor, support, and deliver a lot of government contracts, if not the majority. And when we take a look at some of the budgeting requests that are still not finalized yet in the government, it definitely favors the top three things that they were looking to where to spend money. The Department of Defense had the biggest budget increase request, looking at plus $113 billion plus. It's a 13% increase. DHS is also seeing an influx of additional funding, $42 million. And GSA went in a significant big direction on receiving the additional funding they need to sponsor more of the GWACs, IDIQs, and be the repository for a lot of task order business. We've already heard and seen rumors and or actions that suggest that some of the other contracts that we're going to go over today are moving to GSA. Seaport, which is very well known, eventually at the end of 2028, when that vehicle ends, will be under GSA, and this is the trend. You're going to hear the redundant message about the GWACs and the on-ramps throughout most of this presentation, because that's where we think people are going to get the most value and going to be able to really target and create that strong pipeline of opportunities. So major cuts, just as important, health and human services. This administration made it clear that they were looking to do that with this agency, and almost $100 billion removed from them. When you look at the number of furloughs, contracts that were paused, or that just never materialized, HHS saw a huge chunk of that. Unfortunately, the NSF world also is taking a big hit. We're waiting to see what kind of grant monies are appropriated and approved for NSF. We're hoping that it is substantial. A good portion of our business is supporting the grant world, NSF especially. And other big hits were with EPA, NASA, and the Department of Energy. So in all, there was $163 billion that were cut. We also think outside of just the GSA-led vehicles, if you have an alignment and a capability, past performance, that supports the security infrastructure, the defense world, that's going to be an easy target for you. IT and cybersecurity also. Professional services is still moving, but at the same time, we're not seeing the uptick in business or opportunities like we are with defense and IT security. Also, we have Miss Sophia Velasquez on with us today from OST. She's one of our executives, our chief of staff, amongst other things. She will be taking questions in the event we can respond to those questions as we are going through this presentation. We will. If not, we will make a note and get back to you with the appropriate response. So please feel free to ask questions through the chat as needed. One particular piece of focus that everybody should be aware of are some of the bigger milestones and targets and status changes that are going to be occurring this year through 2026. Right now, what we have up on the screen is what's forecasted. Obviously, with Uncle Sam sometimes being a bit unpredictable, there is a good chance that these dates will move, or even the focuses may change. But we know that we have upcoming at the end of this month, the next funding deadline. Fingers crossed that some of the other focuses this administration is looking at, including acquiring Greenland, will result with them expeditiously approving the funding that's needed to keep the government open. Our expectation is that there will not be another shutdown, but more to come in the next week. Then we're looking at the February-March period for there to be appropriations, RFPs and awards increasing, as well as the president's budget being finalized. Coming into the late second, third quarters, we'll probably see where a lot of congressional contract standards will be finalized coming into the second year of this administration. And then towards the later part of the year, as we get towards the end of the 2026 fiscal year, there's going to be a closeout. There'll be a big spending surge. I think all of us, even last year to some extent, saw the typical cycle of business, where as we get closer to that September and October time of year, the government's looking to spend their budgetary money, releasing task orders, solicitations, and or spending the monies that they have allocated to their agencies. Our best practice, simply stated, is the more information you're aware of, the more strategy you can create, the more research that's completed is going to give you a firm platform to grow your business, right? Simply stated. But creating a pipeline that recognizes some of these milestones, some of the trending history, including last year or over the last 3 years, is going to help you have a better chance at targeting opportunities that are strong, that you can plan for, including if it means through a teaming strategy or strategies, and are going to win. So the solicitations we're going to talk about today are the CIO CS store for $20 billion. And I want to throw the money, the obligated funding out there because it's important to all of us. To be fair, if something's on the smaller side, it makes it more complicated to win that obligated funding. Oasis Plus, as I mentioned earlier, $60 billion. Really excited with this on-ramp. This is big, probably one of the bigger opportunities that are out there for the large majority of the clients we work with. To put that in context of the 120 so active clients, the 200 plus partners we have in our teaming portal, the large majority of them fall under the Department of Defense and Health and Human Services agencies and our IT and professional services, both which align very well with Oasis Plus. The next opportunity will be the Omnibus 4 small business on-ramp. Really excited for that. We had the pleasure of helping 2 companies on board on-ramp successfully with the original on-ramp. We actually batted 100% for that. The next opportunity is the HRS Generation 6, HRS Gen 6. It's going to be big, $7.6 billion. We'll go into a little more detail when we get to that slide. 2JIT, $5.5 billion, GSA Ascend, $5 billion. And then Army Maps. We're not getting a lot of inquiries and conversation around this, but this is one to pay close attention to. This is big, another consolidation with a lot of available revenue. The government's looking to consolidate a lot of the contracts that are ending or that are open and make it easier, especially for small businesses, to target solicitations, task orders, respond, and win, and then support their objectives. So big item of interest is that you'll notice I put all 6. That's because we don't expect Army Maps to fall under GSA, but the other 6 most likely will. If they're not already associated with GSA, go to GSA. So the word all is wrong here. We'll make an edit before we send this slide deck out to everybody. But it, again, confirms where this administration is going. Let's move everything back under GSA like it was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. All right. So the first opportunity we have is the store. This is the follow-on to the current CIO CS Commodities and Solutions, IDIQ. Under the original agreement, to date, 68% of small businesses won all of that obligated funding. This is a best in class. If you're in the IT arena, if you have those capabilities, past performance, or even a teammate that you can work with that specializes in hardware, software, cloud, cybersecurity, all things IT, this is definitely something you want to target and you want to take a look at. Right now, this is under HHS, NIH, NITEC. Anybody that had the pleasure of working with NITEC for CIO SP3 knows that was quite challenging, maybe one of the more challenging solicitations I've ever seen. Ultimately, the approvals even for CIO SP3 are still pending and probably will be for some time as protests continue, saying that the reality is this is probably going to end up under GSA, and it's going to be important, if you're interested in this, to make sure that you have the appropriate SIN alignment. A little off topic, but if you are not on a GSA mass schedule, you're not on CIO, CS, OASIS Plus, you need to really take a look and see how that could benefit your company. Currently, OST is supporting about 14 companies getting on GSA mass. And we'll go into a little more detail about OASIS Plus, but I believe we're around 18 or 19 as of today, clients. And this is where the business is going. Can't say that enough. If you are interested in getting on GSA mass alone or adding to your SINs, please talk to us, schedule a meeting. We have one of the best experts in the country, and we typically put her in front of the people we're talking with so that she can answer questions and help you make a good decision. We're transparent partners. If we think something's going to get in the way of you winning a solicitation, getting on a schedule, we're going to tell you. And that's why we bring our experts in right at the beginning of these conversations so they can help level set this. So other fun facts about the store. It's $20 billion, as I mentioned earlier. The RFPs should be released this quarter. We'll see. There's a lot of these that I'm about to go over are scheduled for release this quarter. Hopefully that will occur. All indications are that they're on schedule. We've called the CEO's offices. We've talked to other people in the government, but still TBD in a lot of these. The awards will be around Q3 for the fiscal year. And this, again, is a good opportunity to take advantage of the really large ceiling of obligated funding. The track record of them, again, awarding 68% of all that obligated funding for the current IDIQ, and to also get on a GSA contract. Second, OASIS Plus. I'm very fond of OASIS Plus. I feel like this is one of the GWACs that have been much easier to navigate and work and support our clients with. It has a lot of opportunity and an incredible amount of money, 60 billion plus, and technically is live right now. The good news is, unlike the first on-ramp where there was a submission date, this does not have that. And this will be a rolling process. You'll be able to get on, or at least be considered for OASIS Plus continuously. What are the benefits of doing it sooner than later? Just like the on-ramps rolling, so will be the award cycle. So the sooner that you're able to submit and qualify, the faster you can get approved, and then start bidding task orders. This is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful vehicles that are out there. For those of you that participated with NASA SOUP 6, another great GWAC, a lot of money, but a little bit more specialized, a little bit more focused. This one gives a lot of small businesses the chance they need to generate quick, repeatable revenue. Like with every contract you're targeting, GWAC especially, or vehicle, you want to make sure you can create the appropriate relationships with the contracts officers or the POCs that are in the government so that you can get that leverage. Maybe even something that is a specific task order directed to you. The word wired is used from time to time, sole source. And in addition, you can use unsolicited proposals to take advantage of these opportunities. OASIS Plus does have a scorecard-based evaluation. It's very black and white. It's really easy to figure out if you're going to be able to get on this. We are telling our clients and working with people that we are supporting with this delivery to make sure they're not just meeting the minimum requirements and they're getting all the points they can, even if this means us assisting with providing them with teaming opportunities. There are 13 domains. They just added 5 new ones with this RFP. We knew this was coming: business administration, financial services, human capital, marketing and PR, and social services, all aligning with a more friendly approach for professional services. To date, 700 awardees. Our expectation is that this will be one of the busiest contract schedules to get onto, and this could be one of the most beneficial for you to leverage growing your businesses. One other big change that came with this RP, they clarified and verified that you're now able to use your qualified projects and past performance across multiple domains and pools. So good stuff there. This is the only solicitation where I'm specifically calling out what kind of support we're providing and what those costs look like. All of us have been in this industry for a long time and are aware that it's quite expensive resources and timing to respond to government contracts. This is not a very large lift. So we're looking at about $4,000 to $6,000. The first phase would be the scorecard assessment. Again, both these phases are resources, are T&M deliveries, and we're using your resources to verify if you're going to be able to get on and what your scores look like. If in the first hour we figure out there's a problem, hopefully we have a solution. If we don't have that solution, then we're going to save you the investment and the time proceeding. To be very transparent, between the first on-ramp and this on-ramp, I think there's only been one company to date that we couldn't work with. We didn't have that solution. And on the last on-ramp, we submitted over 34 applications for 25 companies, and unfortunately 2 did not get on. And one of them was out of our control. They had their SAM.gov registration not up to date. And the second had to do with a JP6 form that the government wouldn't confirm, things that were a little bit out of our control. The second part of this process correlates to us assisting you with the full delivery. CPARs, JP6s, tagging your QPs and past performance, rep certs, teaming strategies and support, which are huge. We try to take advantage of this by giving you the opportunity to find a teammate or offer a teammate so that you can look at different pools and domains. And it's been very successful for our clients. There is an initial SCRM plan that has to be created, and then the upload and submission in Symphony. We could do all of this. We could do some of this. Again, because it's T&M, it allows you to make that decision on what your scope is and or subsequently the budget that we need to stay within. If you decide this is something you're interested in, please schedule a meeting with me and we can go through what this process entails in a little bit more detail. We have plenty of time and plenty of opportunity. We are expecting, at least for this next month coming up, that we'll have at least 36 to 40 companies that are in this process. That's how hot this opportunity is. The Omnibus 4, now this is the small business on-ramp. The original on-ramp, as I mentioned earlier, we helped 2 large companies get approved and on there. One of them in particular, I don't want to name the company names out of respect, is the second largest obligated fund company. They have generated the most revenue, though, as a result of this. The second company that we helped is actually now affiliated with the first company. So a little incestuous world we live in. We're 3 years into this 10-year vehicle, and the big focus is on small business. I do want to share that as of yesterday, there were some indications that they were going to be putting either a single focus or a significant focus on 8A. We have some calls into the CO's office to determine if this is the case. Our understanding prior to coming across this information was that it was going to be almost all of the set-asides. So we'll have more to share on that as soon as we know that information. We'll send out a newsletter with this information. You're welcome to follow up with us, or like the Oasis Plus, schedule a meeting with me and we can talk about it. And hopefully we'll have updates to share. This is $10 billion through the Army. The RFP, like the others, is expected to drop this quarter, and with awards in Q4. So this is a great opportunity if you are a science-based R&D company, you're in biotech, and this is the largest small business health care R&D vehicle. And that's right now projected to go through 2032. The fourth opportunity is the U.S. Army's HRS Gen 6. So this is technically that next iteration of what they have in place right now, but they are combining the PLS and RMAS contracts to support this. The goal is to make this a little bit easier to work and to stabilize the different solutioning that's been occurring through PLS and RMAS prior. By bringing them together, they're making it easier to target opportunities. When you look at Gen 5 and the 28 IDIQs that were released between both of those contracts and what the small business portion was versus other companies, it was a little bit complicated. This time you're going to see a bigger emphasis on small business with small business and awarding small business. This RFP actually is not due till the end of the fiscal year, and awards not going to happen till 28. So we are a little bit off or have plenty of time to support this $7.6 billion opportunity. This, though, could be a great opportunity for you to start capture, pre-capture, looking at qualifying the opportunity, do gap analyses, teaming strategies, win themes, just to figure out if this is something worth doing. We do offer this at OST, and I could share a little bit more about that as we get a little bit closer to the end of this presentation. Number 5 is 2JIT. 2JIT's a bit smaller, $5.5 billion, also forecasted for release this quarter. Awards will be scheduled for Q3 of this fiscal year. This is a great best-in-class IT BPA. So again, if you're sort of focused or have past performance or capabilities with hardware, software, licensing, maintenance, and installation services, this is for you. This contract will replace NetSense 2, and it aligns closely with the FAR Clause Part 8 buying schedule and requirements. I will be fair. I've been doing this for a long time, and I am not very familiar with Part 8 buying. At the bottom of this slide, which you will have received, there is a little bit of a breakdown in the event this is new to you as well, but in short, this is meant to help streamline the buying process, getting on contracts, selling your wares compared to other contracts. GSA Ascend is coming in at number 6, also Q1 fiscal year 2026, and awards next quarter for the fiscal year. With the amount of cloud spending that is going on, this is going to be paramount. You're looking at about a $5 billion opportunity. It is through GSA. There are multiple pools, small business set-asides. And what makes this one a little bit easier is that there are very clear requirements when it comes to the SINs. 518210C and 54151S are currently targeted. Those will be the SINs. If you do not have those SINs, please reach out to us. We could talk about how you might be able to get approved or accessed or those added to your list. The other great part of this opportunity is that if you get in to this pool, you're eligible for awards. Number 7, again, is not something that's been really, there's not a lot of conversation going on about there. As a matter of fact, I would have an interest for those of you that are in this presentation, if you are targeting Army maps. There's not been, again, a lot of movement with this, saying that we did have a conversation with this office, and all indications are that the RFP for Pool 1 will come out in Q2 of this fiscal year. Awards are a little bit later in the year, but this could be big. $50 billion, an excellent IT services support opportunity. Industry Day is next week on the 28th. So if you do have an interest in this, regardless if this was prior to this presentation or now, you probably want to go ahead and sign up for this. It will be held or offered virtually, and they're going to walk through the solicitation, at least the pre-solicitation. So there is a scorecard system. We love scorecard systems, and hopefully you do too, because again, you know what you're getting into, you know where you're strong, and you know if this is worth pursuing, making an investment of time and money. But this is a great opportunity, and as we get the opportunity to share this, we're hoping there's a little bit more interest in this. Sophia, out of curiosity, did anybody respond that they were looking at maps?
Not here, no.
Okay. Well, it sort of aligns with a lot of the conversations we're having that are not about this, but still a great opportunity for everybody. There's going to be about 100 awards, 20 words per domain. And there'll also be out of those 20 a set aside amount for small business. They haven't identified what those numbers look like yet, but that should be coming out shortly. Okay, so those are the top opportunities. Again, I think in total, you're looking at about $158 billion in obligated funding, all small business friendly, all imminent. I think one of them was a little bit further in the year, but the rest of them are this quarter. Hopefully, those align with some of your objectives. And if you'd like to talk about them in greater detail, please feel free to schedule a meeting with me. All right, so 2025 presented one of the toughest years to develop a pipeline. There were so many unknowns, so many changes that occurred, and so many updates that had indefinite affiliated with them. The good news is we've seen a big change. Technically, as we got later into 2025, but 2026 has been very enlightening and positive. So with there still being a limited amount of opportunities compared to years past, like 24, 23, 22, you want to be very strategic in the way you go about building your pipeline. In a lot of cases, the people we talk to and or work with, which are smart, successful business owners or professionals, they believe that adding more opportunities to their pipeline is going to result with them winning more opportunities. Quality over quantity. It doesn't mean limiting your quality if you can support it, but it also means being a little bit strategic in the way you target and or qualify those opportunities, making sure that you are fundamentally taking into consideration the requirements for gates 1 through 4 up to bid, no bid. Human intel research. I mentioned a gap analyses process earlier. Customer engagement is huge. For those of you that have been in maybe some of our earlier presentations, my partners and I, we confess that it's tough. Human intel can be very challenging with the government, last year especially, with a lot of people taking those furloughs. The reality is we have a pretty high success rate coordinating with the different offices and getting them to share information that helps us leverage if things are a good fit for our clients. I joke around that there are typically 3 outcomes when we call the government POCs, and the majority are not getting back to us. But then there's the other 2, which is people threaten to kidnap a family member if we reach back out to them again, or they provide us with more information than we could have expected. Maybe even some information that's like, should you be sharing that? So the emphasis in this day and age right now is on human intel. We're all using EA to conduct research, and we are doing research, but the real information comes from the conversations we're having with the government. Creating those teaming strategies and win themes up front. Once you've confirmed this is the way to go, it's very important investment. It helps lay the foundations for what's going to come. One other process that is regularly overlooked and understandably in the small business community is price to win. It's an investment, definitely, but it also helps clarify what the competitive landscape looks like out there, incumbents, interested parties, etc., and gives you the ability to have a good pricing strategy and offer that will help you win. With OST, we win 85% of the time when we are managing proposals. I think on average, we look at supporting close to 300 proposals, and around 115 of those are the ones that we are managing, that we are leading as proposal managers. Those count, those 115. That's where that 85% win rate correlates to. But when it comes to cost and pricing, that's the number one reason our clients lose. They prefer to do this internally, and we respect that. But this is probably one of the more complicated parts of the business. And then when you are creating your proposals, it's so important to be compliant, obviously, but compelling is the part that people sort of lose focus on. It's really easy, including for OST, to drink our own bathwater, think we are great at what we do, and not really consider what it looks like from the outside. A lot of the people we work with, they hire for us to take a look at that and help them look at it from a different perspective. It's going to be important this year, especially, that your proposal responses fit the bill and that you're considering your end reader, reviewer, approver. So we've sort of beaten the proverbial dead horse with the GWACs, IDIQs, BPAs, and GSA schedules, but still worth notating. This is where you're going to find your best business opportunities and growth. If you are a really small company, also teaming is a great strategy to building up that past performance and or winning contracts. OST currently has, again, over 200 partners in their teaming portal. At the conclusion of this presentation, which is not that far away, there is a link to that teaming portal, which you can actually go into and share your information, which we will give you the opportunity to reach out to us and see if we have a partner that could assist you with a solicitation, has the right cultural fit, synergies, capabilities. If it is a good fit, we love doing this, do it all the time. And it's very strategic. We don't want to lose you as a client or a potential client, and we don't want to lose them. So a lot of time goes into this process. If one of our clients is looking for help and your company fits that bill, we'll reach out to you and also see if you have an interest meeting them, and then we'll complete formal introductions. So getting ahead of the curve with solicitations, teaming is going to pay dividends, even if it means you're not making more of an investment than you should for things that could be challenging or not have a high P win. OST offers the GovCon Catalyst Pipeline Services. It's really a monthly retainer that, and I'll kind of go in a little bit of detail what this looks like on the next slide, that helps develop those pipelines, identify opportunities, qualify them, complete gap analyses, teaming strategies, win themes, and respond in some cases to RFIs, sources sought, and proposals. And this typically results with our clients, when they're just focusing on the pipeline services, seeing 6 to 10 opportunities a month. They mark over 90% of these green. Good, they want to do this. And they submit, probably on average, which is not identified here, at least 2 or 3 of those. In most cases, with the majority of our clientele being on the small business side, they have limited funding to make the larger investment with doing more submissions. We respect that. We try to help them pick the right ones. And then when we are running those proposals, they're winning 85% of the time. This is the GovCon Catalyst service offering. There are 2 options, and the first option really covers the most of the critical things you need to do to have a strong pipeline and verify getting through gates 2 and 3. In a lot of cases, gates 4, even the bid, no bid. What it doesn't do is put an extra amount of emphasis on the streamlined capture process. Option 2 does. We are offering this month to month. You can break service with 30 days notification. The initial option 1, is $5,000 a month. Option 2 is $10,000 a month. And that may seem like a decent investment to make. To be fair, we've been in this industry for a long time, and no disrespect to all the professionals that are out there that are working hard, but the business development piece, the people that are supporting the pipeline, they're the ones that have challenges ahead of them, including the services and solutions they have available to identify strong opportunities. Here at OST, we have access to the paid services. We have the usual suspects, SAM.gov, DASIS. We have full dedicated research teams, including that are completing that human intel. And ultimately, what we are doing is providing opportunities that align with your objectives, past performance, capabilities, and scaling. The second option, which is the 10,000, really has that heavier emphasis on capture. And most of our clients are also using some of that funding to respond accordingly to RFIs and sources sought. With the average business development professional in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area costing $70,000 to $80,000 a year at a minimum, paying $5,000 or $10,000 a month could be a better investment, especially if you are relying on standardized return on investment, the number of opportunities, how many you qualify, mark green, and or submit. So we've kind of covered how OST can help you, including with the different solicitations we ran through, and then also building your pipeline. But in short, we do everything business development. I started the conversation with, we're one of the few companies that specializes in three different areas, and that's education, the pipeline services and monthly retainer support, and then capture through post-proposal. So we do these a la carte. We do them by the request. Again, can't say it enough, we're transparent. We're not going to want to do business just to make money. If you're not going to get the return on investment or what you're expecting, we're going to share that with you. But we can do this through qualifications, teaming strategies, gap analysis, a lot of scorecards out there right now, and then getting ready and creating that capture and or pre-proposal and proposal delivery. We do it as request outlines, matrices, schedule plans, and then we offer proposal professionals. We have people that are full-time employees that are in-house. We also do rely on 1099s. Any which way you are looking to proceed, you are allowed to interview our professionals. We'll send you resumes, and we will work with you and them to make sure that they are providing that compelling, compliant support. We also do the compliance separately, which again is an added benefit in the event you want somebody to take a look at it that specializes in this and could give you the feedback needed so that you're not missing something or accentuating something that may not close the deal. Recently, I'd like to mention, and I don't believe he's on this call, one of our executives, Mr. Andy Altamirano, him and our team supported 8 companies successfully getting on MDA Shield. This was another 100% win rate for us. MDA Shield probably will be offering additional on-ramps. If that occurs, please feel free to reach out to us as well. And one other item of interest, if you do sign up for our GovCon Catalyst monthly service, we are offering free scorecard support with that for the Oasis Plus or Army maps. So, and that's including multiple pools, domains, and teaming. I very much appreciate everybody taking this time. Hopefully this was informative and helpful. If you do have any questions, you are welcome to send those afterwards. This is my contact information. You can call me. There's a link to schedule meetings to our teaming portal. If you're not receiving our newsletters, please sign up. It's a lot of great free information there that could help you with your pipeline development or the way you strategize to proceed with a solicitation. We have blogs, and as I mentioned earlier, our holiday sale for our on-demand courses with training is still active. We're offering 50% off on those courses. I want to thank everybody and wish you all a wonderful rest of your week, and please reach out if anything's needed. Thank you.